Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome once more to this grand experience, for it is none other than the 2019 Fluffy Awards, where we shall go through various categories. I see you over there, Privateer Press, trying to get back in through the door. Away with you. You are not part of this entire ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Adam and George to give you the 3rd Annual Fluffies Awards. And I see you as well over there, Havoc, trying desperately to get in. Out you go, for this is nothing but the Fluffies.
Absolutely. There's a Puritan element to it all, isn't there?
Very much so.
There is.
Roll that music and
Every
let's
man
get
lives, not every man truly dies.
You don't like outsiders around here.
there, Privateer Press.
Stay off the moors, you mischievous wains.
To be fair, I actually quite like the Hordes and War Machine.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not my thing really. I'm not that bothered about them. But what I do like is the fact that those companies exist.
Yeah.
And that they're kind of, I mean, they have kind of forced Games Workshop's hand a little bit. You know, I mean, you can kind of place the blame, I suppose, for the way Games Workshop has gone on their shoulders to a certain degree, and that's
Completely.
all to the good. That's all to the good, you know. Forcing Games Workshop to adapt has done great things, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
It's done great things.
Well, at the end of the day, oh God, did I just really say at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, you're getting old, Adam. You're getting old.
God, I'm turning
That's
into
what
my
that
dad,
is. At the end of the day, Jesus.
Oh, I'll be reading the Daily Express by the end of the
Don't
week.
you dare. Don't you dare. Good God. What a hideous thought.
Yes, right. So it is the Annual Fluffy Awards. But
Is
first
this
of all,
the
of
third
course,
one?
it's the 3rd one. Yeah.
Oh my God. Now that makes me feel old.
We've been doing this for quite some time,
We
now,
have,
George.
but it still feels really new and weird, and it's strange.
I think that's purely down to the fact that we refuse point blank to nail down a format.
I think that might be it. You know.
Just constantly bubbling like Azathoth.
I think that's it. If this were had been the same over the last 3 years, it may have become de rigueur.
Yeah. I quite like the idea. This is the bubbling chaos of podcasts.
I'm up for that. Yeah, but that's what we should call it. I like that. Fluffenhammer, the bubbling Lovecraftian chaos of podcasts.
The mad bubbling horror of podcasts.
I like that. I think that's really cool. We should put that on a t-shirt, Adam.
I will get to that this week.
Brilliant.
I've amused myself greatly with that one.
And it's entirely appropriate.
The Fluffenhammer. Like nuclear fission, but mad.
I mean, when I look back at all of the bizarre tributaries of conversation that we've gone off on,
Oh, yeah.
before returning back round to what we're supposed to be talking about, which is Games Workshop, that happens almost on every episode. So,
Of course it does. But that was always the idea, wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
was.
we used Games Workshop as a launching pad to sit and hold a discussion.
to have proper discussions, yeah, and it's innate to the material. That's what I find interesting. It is innate to the material because someone was talking about it on Twitter, actually. One of the writers, I believe, for Black Library was talking about, you know, I mean, not to get too political about it, but there is a certain demographic, particularly on the internet, who seem to think that the way the Imperium is presented in the present day 40k is somehow desirable, that it's somehow being promoted as a legitimate societal structure, when in fact, as this writer points out, it began as satire.
Yes.
And it stayed as satire. You're not supposed to look at the way the Imperium is represented and go, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's utopian. Those are the good guys. You're supposed to look at it and find it kind of funny in a wry and despairing kind of way. And it's the 2000 AD influence.
Of course, yeah.
It's
has
Mega
to
City
be,
1, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to be taken as not the joke, but it has to be taken as the tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
In which it's presented.
It's so
Just because it's got
extreme.
an incredibly rich background doesn't mean that it's still not,
That's
at
it.
its core, a tongue-in-cheek experience.
It's a satire. It is, by its extremity, it's a satire. And in order to appreciate that, you do have to understand nuance. You do have to be able to engage with the text. So it kind of teaches you how to interpret literary texts and meta-narratives and mythologies and whatnot. That's why you get the silly little quotes from the Inquisition at the bottom of rulebook pages, that say things like ignorance is a virtue and whatnot. It's not designed to be taken literally.
No.
It's supposed to be so extreme that it's a satire on fascism. That's what it is. The Imperium...
I will, however, pull you up on two things.
Okay.
Right, one, the inquisitorial quotes once gave me a quote that I, to this day, use.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, which is, who is to know what is possible? Who is to know what is possible until you've attempted the impossible and succeeded?
Okay, that's a good one. That is actually quite a good one. Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, there is something in 40k which is desirable. Giant metal crab legs.
There's that, yes.
Yeah, just imagine that if I'm sitting here talking to you now, clinking around on giant metal crab legs, or even just like the Admech chicken legs.
Yeah.
Clink, 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 clink,
The
clink.
sort of
clink, clink, clink,
Belisarius
clink,
call
clink, clink.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like about that?
What's not to like about that? Yes. Oh, and flesh coats.
Oh, indeed. And
That's
flesh- and
Fabius
flesh mobs,
Bile sports. I think
Flesh
those
mobs.
could be, if you could somehow market a line of them, I think you'd be quids in. Games Workshop, if you're listening.
Coming soon to Hot Topic.
Right. Fabius
Flesh
Bile's flesh coat. I'd be up for that. That could be like, how the Matrix was. When it could be like that. You're going to see people wandering around, with their flesh coat variants.
I just got that image of Keanu Reeves doing the entire, falling onto his back thing as the bullets going over him, but just with this big meaty coat.
Right. Speaking of Fabius Bile, where's the new miniature for him?
I don't know.
Come on, guys. He's so prominent. He's so cool. He's one of the best Chaos characters. Give us a new Fabius Bile. Come on.
I'm sure there is something incoming. There has to be.
Well, they've done all the others, haven't they?
Yeah.
Apart from Lucius. Lucius needs one too. Wait for the Emperor's Children Codex for that. But Fabius Bile, come on. Fabius is great. We need a new one. Maybe sometime in Psychic Awakening.
I think so, because it looks like Psychic Awakening's not going to be a 3-book job.
I don't think it is going to be a 3-book job. I think that's a very long-term job. I mean, considering that we're looking at 3 or 4 books into the future already, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So, the next one is mine, obviously. Thousand Suns, Ritual of the Damned. Yay! And Dark Angels as well, so 2 Chaos Legions, 2 Traitor Legions. Yay! Most pleased about that.
Before we get going,
Yes.
there is something I wanted to have a quick discussion with you about.
Okay.
The Slaves to Darkness book.
Oh, it's great.
Holy good lord,
Is it
that
really?
thing just boosted up, didn't it?
Do they keep doing this? We look at when they're doing. There's 2 types of battle tome in AOS. There's the ones for the armies they entirely revamp, which are completely redrawn and have entirely new miniatures ranges. And then there's the ones where they're just taking old miniatures ranges and adding into them with new bits and pieces. And Slaves to Darkness is the latter. It's just an old range that they're going to update for AOS. So technically they don't have to throw their all at them. They could just transplant the army into an army book and it's done, But they never do it. They always go out. They always go to the nth degree to make these armies interesting again, to redraw them so that their narratives are interesting again, so they fit in the world. Yeah. They did it with the Beasts of Chaos. The Beasts of Chaos was the last one that was friggin' brilliant. They've done it with the Hedonites of Slaanesh, Pretty much every tome I can think of has been fantastic. The Blades of Khorne, the new one. That was brilliant. It was absolute. And now they've done it again with the Slaves to Darkness. I particularly liked in this book, because basically, guys, if you were an old-style Chaos player, if you played your Chaos forces in Fantasy Battle, this is the book for you. because it
Totally.
allows you to do it again. Your old classic Chaos lines, basically, that were made up of Chaos Warriors, Marauders, Chaos Knights, the big monsters, all of that is here. You can do that again now. You can have that army. But it's way, way, way more than that.
The sheer narrative that's been crammed into that book from cover to cover is insane.
There's tons of it, isn't there? They've gone really deep into looking at like how people get drawn into chaos worship, why someone would tread the path to glory, you know, knowing what it requires, knowing what it will likely end in. My favorite story in the entire thing is the one that involves the Chaos Shaman.
Yes.
Who, it shows you what he has to sacrifice in the name of the gods. And what's interesting is this guy, it's written by ADB, by Aaron Dembski Bowden, so it's bound to be good. He's the best writer. He is the best writer the Black Library has. He is just, anything he touches is just automatically friggin' brilliant. This guy, it tells you, it's the story from his perspective, basically. He's the shaman of a particular chaos tribe. And it draws him as a man. He is not some psychopath. He is not some like deranged fanatic. He is measured. He is considered. He has emotion. Like, it shows you what he has to sacrifice throughout his life to appease the gods, basically. His wife, who he genuinely loves, you know, he is genuinely besotted with, because it has to be a genuine sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it?
It is.
That's
Completely
the
lovely.
point. It can't just be like some random person that you've stitched down to a rock, you know? It has to be something that you care about, that has some poetry to it. That's what the gods feed on, the emotion, obviously. So it's his wife first, his son, who he foresees is going to be the future of the tribe. And so that's an even bigger sacrifice. He's sacrificing not just his son, but what his son represents.
Yes.
And that is amazing. It's brilliant. The way it's drawn is so good because he regrets it. You know, it's something that he knows has to happen, but he regrets it. And then at the end, of course, he sacrifices the entire tribe. He's forced to do away with the entire tribe. And he's left like desolate on this cliff edge, roaring at the sky. Is that enough? Is that enough now? It's brilliant. It's absolutely wonderful. I loved it to bits. There's also another story in there I like that involves a demon princess of Slaanesh who comes up against the Stormcast Eternal, who it turns out is her sister from her previous life.
It's good, isn't it?
It's really cool. So you get these two immortals who have taken very different paths coming together in these different states and stages of their existence. I think it's phenomenal. I really do. And the book itself, I mean, like, just beyond the fluff, which is excellent, the nuts and bolts is brilliant. Like, the way they've done the Marks of Chaos now, they're going to have to transplant that over to 40k.
Yeah, oh, I hope so.
I hope so, because that system is brilliant. Basically what it does, ladies and gents, you basically apply the Marks of Chaos as keywords. So you can give a unit the keyword Zeech, Khorne, Slaanesh, Nurgle, or Undivided, and then that unlocks certain benefits and powers based on how close they are to heroes or characters who have the same mark. And those marks escalate, those powers escalate depending on what kind of character they are. Yeah. It's absolutely stunningly brilliant. I love it to bits. And then on top of that, you've got all of the little bits and pieces that are just weird, you know, but which are great, like the cultist units from Warcry.
Yes.
Stunning stuff. Stunning stuff. You've got all of the bestial units, you know, the monsters and things. And they've made accommodation and space for all of that. But did you notice the keyword trickery, Adam?
I don't think I did, no.
The way they've worded everything means that the book interacts beautifully with all of the specific Chaos books.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah.
So, if you want an army of Nurgle, and for all of the effects to work together, all of the aura effects, you can do it. You can take, like, Putrid Blight Kings from the Maggotkin and put them in a Slaves to Darkness army. And they will benefit from all of the aura effects and vice versa. Yeah. The same is true of spells. If you take a Chaos Sorcerer from the Slaves to Darkness book that has a Mark of Slaanesh, you automatically gain access to the benefits, the spell laws from the Hedonites of Slaanesh book.
Yeah. It is really smart.
It's
creating this really beautiful, mutable gaming system.
Yeah.
It's something we've never seen before.
No, this is how Chaos should be, basically. You can just make the most interesting armies from this. Beasts of Chaos, Skaven, Slaves to Darkness, Maggotkin, Blades of Khorne, Disciples of Tzeentch, Hedonites of Slaanesh, all sort of like go together because of the Chaos keyword. It's amazing. The way they interact means that Chaos armies are probably the most mutable and the most interactive of all of them in AOS.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much forethought's gone into this.
Yeah, and of course now we're getting the new Disciples of Tzeentch book.
Yes,
which we've been calling for.
Saturday. Yeah.
Looks great. It's pre-ordered. It's pre-ordered because that was for me that was the turning point in AOS.
Mm-hmm.
When I read that book, that was like, okay.
Yeah, and how weird is it that a book that came out 2 years ago now feels quite old?
Yeah.
And...
Well, it's moved on so much, hasn't it? The game has moved on so
much. It really has.
You know?
It's right.
So I'm so looking forward to that. I am so looking forward to that because I've loved all of the specific books. All of the Chaos books have been top notch insofar as I'm concerned. It's a status they really need to start transplanting over to 40k.
Agreed.
They do. They need to have them on an equal footing.
Yeah.
They really, really do. And hopefully that will happen. Hopefully that will happen eventually. Because we've just had, of course, the other Psychic Awakening book, which had all of the Chaos Legion specific stuff in it.
What I think is happening here is instead of having a Warhammer 8th Edition 2.0 like they did with Soul Wars, they're using Psychic Awakening as a way to update it.
Yeah, I think so.
There's stuff happening in there which is changing the mechanics of the game under the hood, so to speak.
And also the status of the game. Like the status of the gaming universe is changing significantly. We know that Magnus is up to something big.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure what, but he is up to something. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Me too.
I am looking forward to finding out. Did you read the last short story that came out?
I haven't yet. No, I've not had the chance.
Really good. It's really good because it's from the perspective of a Thousand Sons sorcerer, and what it demonstrates is just how different the Thousand Sons actually are from pretty much all the other Chaos Legions, because they're not malevolent in intent. A lot of the other Chaos Legions actually are. They sort of venerate being sadists, being evil and being like metaphysically negative. The Thousand Sons don't. They still hold to some semblance of their original ideology, which is lifting humanity up. It's actually forcing the evolution of humanity, so it eventually sort of conquers the warp. And the Thousand Sons sorcerer, whose perspective it's written from, he even, there's a line in it where one of his Zangor servants says something that's a bit servile, and he thinks to himself, oh, I hate that. We're not slave masters. We are not slavers, okay? Then that's not what they want. They venerate freedom of thought and sort of a metaphysical anarchy. And it's fascinating. I love that.
I will try my very best to get that read before I go to work tonight.
Right, yeah, it's good. It's well worth a read.
I need to get caught up on those. Actually, I'm way behind.
Yeah,
I haven't even started recording any of them yet.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
There's a lot of them. So, yeah, that. I mean, I even read a rumor. I mean, it was just like a rumor. There was no basis to it or anything. I even read a rumor that there's talk of Lorgar coming back soon.
Really?
Yeah. Now, that would be very interesting. I mean, I'd love to see a model for him and his Demon Prince form. But if they do him, he should be like the be-all and end-all of Demon Princes, because he is like the highest servant of the Chaos Powers, barring the Chaos Powers themselves. He's like the Demon Prince to end all Demon Princes.
But he's a game changer, isn't he? So that's...
He's a monster, He is a proper monster. So, all the powers of chaos, all of them together in one body, basically. He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a proper monster.
Have you seen what the narrative for AOS going forward into 2020 is going to be?
No.
So it looks like the Ossian Bone Reapers are after the All Points.
Oh, they're going to attack the Varan Spire.
Yep, they're going after Archeon.
Oh, now that's interesting, because of course in the Slaves to Darkness book we do see the beginnings of that.
Yep.
Thanks to Nagash's necroquake, there's ghosts and spirits like the night haunts have risen up within the Varan Spire, and now there's like this war throughout the corridors and the citadels between those that have been left there and these undead spirits. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Which means I'm fairly sure at some point we're going to see Archeon versus Nagash.
Now, yeah, and we've already had that once, and Archeon won. Like, categorically, Archeon blasted him to bits.
He did. Now, that was before Nagash decided to sit back and rethink his entire strategies.
Yeah.
I think the Bone Reapers are going to be the guys that really work towards AOS becoming more of its own thing.
Yeah.
I love the Bone Reapers so much.
I
love them so.
It's a stunning book. It's a stunning book.
The miniatures are so good. I've enjoyed painting them. I've enjoyed modifying them. I've enjoyed building them. I love them. I love them to bits.
There's so much character in them.
There really is. So what I've done is I've swapped all the heads out.
Yeah.
And given them just normal skull heads.
Oh, right.
So what they now look like is Bone Stormcast.
Yeah, sort of skeletons in armor. Yeah.
Yeah. And it really gives this fun because the kit's so mutable. You can do so many dynamic poses with them.
Yeah.
They just look absolutely mental. I love them to bits. They're just fantastic.
Bone Stormcast is exactly what they are.
Yeah.
In the background, that's kind of what they are. They are like the twisted mirror to the Stormcast.
Yeah, it's Nagash insulting them.
It is, isn't it? It's a deliberate sort of knock at Sigmar, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that I made that ages ago and made all my tomb card into skeletons wearing Stormcast armor, and then Games Workshop did it themselves. I'm not saying that this is the latest in a long line of this happening.
Well, to be fair, we were talking about wanting the Disciples of Zeech book, weren't we? And that happened like the week after. So if they announce a Fabius Bile miniature and a line of flesh coats in the next month or so, ladies and gentlemen, someone out there is listening. That said, there's a new book, isn't there? There's a new Fabius Bile book.
There is, yeah.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Looking forward to that one.
Oh, well, I mean, the last two were fantastic.
Absolutely.
They were absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to see what he's up to. I just can't wait. I don't think he will, because I think he's finished with it, but I wish John French would do another Araman book.
Oh, same.
I want to see an Araman series set in the present day.
Yes.
So, like, what's happening now? After the events on Fenris, after Sorciarius has been dragged back into the material world, what is Araman doing?
I think the answer to that is plotting. Scheming.
Yes. Chasing the Eldari, from what we understand.
Have you come across the short story of Araman and his Necron?
Araman and his Necron? No.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called now. But it's just this little short story, and it's Araman. It's as the Necrons are awakening.
Yeah.
Way back when. And he's got this Necron in a box.
Okay.
And it's got this ability to rewind time.
Alrighty then.
So it's stuck in this loop, and every time it goes through the loop, it's getting a bit more aware, a bit more knowledge, and it's understanding more.
Okay.
Right? But what it doesn't realise is Araman is travelling through the loop with him.
Oh, right.
So Araman is also getting all the information about the Necron. At the end of it, this Necron breaks free, and it's just like, I will destroy you. It presses this button, and it collapses. It's just, right, well,
fair enough.
Through this again. He's just torturing a Necron for countless eons.
What you take from that is you don't screw with Araman.
You do not.
As the books, John French's books demonstrate, there will be some contingency that you haven't taken into account, basically. Mm-hmm. He will catch you in a loop of your own hubris and assumption, and he will tighten the noose around your neck. He's just better. He just knows what he's doing,
I think my favourite part of the book is Araman laughing at a Necron calling the human race arrogant.
Right.
He just points at him.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, these guys, they waged a war across the length and breadth of creation.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the Eldari once upon a time, weren't they? They had an empire that spanned creation and lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they are ones to talk, aren't they?
As the old saying goes, an empire divided must fall. An empire divided must unite. A united empire must fall.
Mm-hmm.
That's just always been the way of the thing, and it's true because every single time an empire rises, it collapses.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of the Necron,
it was a big one. It was a big collapse, wasn't it? It was. Well, they didn't just collapse, did they? They like sold their souls and became like immortal, eternally tortured machines. So, yeah.
Is that where we've been going wrong, George? Do we need to become emotionally tortured machines?
We're well on our way. Give it a few more decades, and we might be there. Transference into mechanical shells might be the way to go.
I look forward to a little bit of transhumanism. Just so I can get my mechanical claw legs. Shall we?
So it comes back full circle.
Just like Araman and his pet Necron.
Absolutely.
So, shall we get on to the actual Fluffies?
The Fluffies, yes, why not? Let us.
So, we have here a collection of 1, 2, 3, count them, 4, 5. All right, there's 12. I won't count them all. A collection of categories.
We need a plague bearer to do this.
Oh, damn it, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that?
We need a bound pet plague bearer to do this, because counting is their thing.
Yeah, you see, if I'd thought of that beforehand, I could have gone off and recorded a collection of silly voices of a plague bearer reading out the category names.
Yeah, oh well, next time.
Next time.
We will.
I honestly do not have the time to do it this week.
We will bind a plague bearer and get him to count for us, which I'm sure he'll be perfectly happy about.
Yeah.
Insofar as plague bearers are perfectly happy about anything, which they're not, unless they're a spoilpox, unless they're a sloppity bile piper, then they're very happy, very happy indeed.
To be fair, which is happier, a sloppity bile piper or a beast of Nurgle?
Oh, I'm not sure. Different types of happiness, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
The sloppity bile piper is manic happiness, isn't it? It's like teetering on the edge of insanity, fevered joy. Whereas the beast of Nurgle is a puppy happiness, isn't it? It's like affection and just generally pleased to see everyone.
I would so want to take a beast of Nurgle for a walk.
Yeah, oh man, that'd be fun. They'd be like, like a really playful, quite misbehaved dog. I imagine that slobbers over everyone. The difference, of course, is that when this thing slobbers over people, they dissolve.
That's true. And the last thing you want to do is, somebody rides by on a bike, you expect a dog to bark, beast of Nurgle just jumps on him, dissolves him and the bike.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be pleasant.
That's what I like about them. They're so friendly.
So anyhow,
yes.
let's get started.
Let's go.
So the first award is the Carnivorous Sand Clam Award for Best 40k Release.
Oh, there's been a lot because we've had a lot of the Psychic Awakening stuff.
We have. Would you like me to go through the Batshits first?
Go through the Batshit, yeah.
Shrike and his pants.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
One of the many updated Space Marine codexes.
Oh, that's shot across the bows.
Pretty much. Space Marine Primaris Lieutenant.
What, the one that Abaddon is standing on?
Maybe
that one, yeah.
I don't have a clue, no idea, and dunno, don't follow.
Oh, right, okay.
Spikes?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. It's difficult to say. There's been a lot for 40k this year.
Mm-hmm. My favourite Batshit, by the way, is the re-release of Shadow Spear. Why? Why didn't this happen? Why?
Yeah.
So should I go through some of the actual
serious ones, okay. The ones that actually, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So Psychic Awakening books.
Yeah, I mean I'd probably go for that, to be honest, because they have changed the state of play so much.
The Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, because we've got 2.0, of course.
Mm-hmm. Sisters of Battle Army box.
Of course. Well, that might win, actually.
Yeah. Mephiston.
Oh, yeah.
Abaddon.
Abaddon's going to win. Abaddon's going to win.
The latest Space Marine Codex.
I think that, I mean, yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's
Mhm.
brilliant. But I also think there's going to be a pushback against that.
And the Lord Discordant.
Oh, I mean, personally, for me,
Mhm.
I'd probably go for the Lord Discordant, but I think Abaddon might take it.
Abaddon comes in second place.
Does he? Now that
Yeah.
is a surprise.
Sisters of Battle Army Box. And I'm going to actually discuss this, actually, because it's really interesting. Abaddon was winning
Yeah.
until yesterday.
So it was going to be neck and neck between those two, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's literally been a vote either way for about 2 weeks.
Wow. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, so the Sisters of Battle Army Box wins by 1 vote.
I can see
Literally
that.
1 vote.
I can see that because people have been like going nuts for the Sisters of Battle for the longest time, and suddenly they've not just got Sisters of Battle, they've got them like as they always should have been.
Yeah,
Like
and you get
they
a full
are.
army out of the box with it. I mean,
Exactly.
granted, it sold out fast,
Yeah.
but it was always going to.
Yeah, and also they are how they are in the artwork now,
Yes.
which is what we all want, isn't it? That's
Yes.
ultimate miniatures that look like the artwork. Give us that. That's what we want, and that's what we've got.
Yeah, completely and utterly. It's I think the Sisters of Battle Box has been absolutely amazing, and the stuff that they've been doing with that set has been brilliant. Have you noticed the little nods that have been in the army?
Like, oh no.
So they've been nodding to the old Inquisitor game.
Oh, okay.
So none of them have been named as such,
But
there are ways of building certain models in that to make them look like the big miniatures that came with, well, that you played for Inquisitor.
Oh, that is so brilliant.
If you got the Sister Battle Box and a Gregor Eisenhorn,
Yeah.
right, you have enough stuff there to make an Inquisitor warband for Inc. 28.
Brilliant.
How
Clever.
awesome is that?
Yeah, clever
That's
stuff.
so cool.
Clever stuff.
But yeah, so the Sisters of Battle take the first prize.
Adeptus Sororitas.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I think it's actually really interesting.
I'm
to see
really
that.
pleased actually because it's nice to see. I mean, you know, I'm always going to be a chaos guy, but it is really nice to see one of the armies that's been like just degraded for the longest time taking a top spot. That's lovely.
It's also worth saying that Psychic Awakening came in at the 3rd point.
Yeah.
And Mephiston came in at the 4th.
Did he? Wow. I mean, Mephiston, the miniature's awesome.
It is. I think it's just that it hasn't been out long enough to hit, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And also, did you notice that like the Blood of Baal was really low key?
Yes, I did.
In terms of the way because they've always really built up the Psychic Awakening books and done lots of stuff for them. The Blood of Baal one kind of slipped by. I even saw a forum the other day where someone was saying, "What, is it out?" It's like,
It's
yeah.
weird. I think it kind of got drowned out within the Sisters release, didn't it?
I think so. I think that's largely it.
So, shall we move on to Best Fantasy Release?
Oh, again, I mean, this one's so ram-packed.
Yeah. So, what we've got in the... I've just noticed one that wasn't there yesterday.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh my god. Right, sorry. So, the Best Fantasy Release. So, the Batshits. Anything Bretonian.
Yeah.
Slanesh is in my house.
Mine too.
Kings of War, Volume 3. The Kings of War 3rd edition. So somebody had the same joke twice.
Yeah.
And... Oh, that's it, actually. It for
the Batshits.
For the Batshits. Oh, and Skaven, well, it should have been.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
So, Best Fantasy Release. Return of Gotrek and Ghoulslayer 2.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Realm Slayer 2.
Uh-huh.
Cities of Sigma.
Yep.
Nighthaunts. Actually, Nighthaunts was the year before.
Nighthaunts was the year before, I think. So, yeah, Ossiarchs have got to be in there somewhere, sure.
The Ossiarchs are in here. Warcry.
Yeah, oh, God. I mean, the problem is it's packed with really strong, well-selling stuff.
Oh, yeah. We're not even halfway through the list of categories here. They've got enough votes to be mentioned.
Yeah, right?
The Gloomspite Gits.
Yeah.
Updated Flesh Eaters.
Yeah, jeez.
Beast Grave.
Mm-hmm.
The new Slaves to Darkness book.
Well, yeah. I mean, even that's quite recent, you know.
Yeah. Gotrek the Miniature.
That might do it.
Okay, so that's the ones that got enough votes to be announced.
Wait, no Hedonites.
No Hedonites, actually,
Real
no.
surprise. Cause did you see they even had to tone down the Hedonites because they were doing so well?
Yes, I did have to nerf them a bit.
They had to nerf them because they were a bit too good.
They were absolutely destructive. It was brilliant.
Which you could see have you seen any of the battle reports?
I have.
Oh,
Some of them just a meat grinder.
it's ridiculous. I mean, it's the ability to summon so many things like Keepers of Secrets and whatnot. It's like one of them is bad enough. When you've got 4 or 5 running around, it's a bit much.
Yeah, and the way that everything ties into each other.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord! If you've got a good
armies.
memory, you are indestructible.
It's one of those armies that's got such brilliant synchronicity with itself.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. If an army can do that, they're usually pretty solid in AOS.
I would just like to quickly praise Millman before we continue.
Millman. Yes.
Praise Millman, because
Millman.
I'm currently sitting here drinking my water with ice cubes in it out of a tankard.
A tankard, very nice.
It's a full pint tankard that I got from Mr. Millman. So praise Millman.
Praise Millman, of course. Anyway, so who won?
Are you sure you want to know? Because I think it's a little bit of an outside choice, to be honest.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It's the Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Of course, it's the freaking Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Of course it is.
Like, we are talking heads and tails above everybody else. In fact, one of them is literally just says Bone Reapers.
Yeah, I mean, to be 100% fair to the Bone Reapers, they had probably the best miniature of the year, which of course is Catacross.
Yes. Don't worry, we're going to be coming to him.
I'm sure we'll get to that, but I mean, yeah, everything about the release was just really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. It is just a brilliant release. Everything that came out with it. The book is superb.
The book is amazing to read. It's just fun to read. It's one of those Games Workshop products, which is like the old style ones, where you could leaf through them as a kid and just keep doing it until they fall to bits.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
There's stuff in there that the more you read into it, the more you find. And it's such a great book. And the miniatures, they're fantastic.
Great miniatures line.
On the battlefield, they are brilliant.
Well, they're immune to battle shock, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is like a whole army that's immune to battle shock. And basically, all of the problems that the undead armies tend to have are undone.
Yeah.
In the Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Completely.
They're very tough.
Yeah.
They're very bloody tough.
Yeah, I think the amount of character, which is really weird for an undead army, because undead armies, unless they're being led by like Nagash or Hemlet Kemler. Yeah, Kemler.
Heinrich Kemmler, I think is who you're going for in it there.
It is. Like, the name just went completely out of my head there. It's just
or one of the Mortarchs, of course, who have incredible character.
There isn't always a huge amount of character within an undead army.
Yeah.
There's the army itself has a character, but there isn't a narrative character.
Characters. No, because they're all constructs, aren't they? They're all animated by the will of a necromancer or a vampire or whatever.
Then you look at the Bone Reapers, and it's like, well, each one of these has its story, and a story it could probably tell if it could be bothered.
Well, the thing about them is even like the most basic bog standard trooper has multiple historical threads, because they're going to be this composite of lots of different souls who come from somewhere, who all have their own sort of competing memories and whatnot. And that is freaking brilliant. Even the damn horses are like that.
Yeah, and I want to get some books based on these guys. I want some novels.
Yeah.
I want to see how this works.
Well, there's so much scope.
Massively
it's
so.
It's one of those armies that does exactly what I want them to do, which is it's broadened the scope of the world, of the universe, the mythology.
Yeah.
It's made more space for storytelling, which is always good.
Absolutely. So number 2 was the Warcry starter box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Warcry was massive, so yeah, obviously.
Number 3 was Gotrek.
Yeah, Gotrek was going to be in there somewhere.
At number 3 tied is Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, that was popular too. I know people were aching for that, but I didn't realise it would be that popular,
And I apologise, right down at number 8, Slanesh.
I'm
sorry.
That's sad. Oh well.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh well.
So moving on. I do apologise. I've done a boo-boo.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Lustrian Pygmy Award for Best Fantasy Release.
The Lustrian Pygmy. All right, fair enough.
Okay. So the next up is the Chief Librarian Astropath Ilian Natest Award for Mini of the Year.
Mini of the year, wow.
For 40k.
For 40k, Abaddon.
Straight over there.
It's got to be
And
Abaddon.
by the way, the Natest, if you know where that one's come from, let me know. Chief Librarian Ilian Natest.
Interesting.
I'll give you a clue. He's half Eldar.
Oh, it's him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
God, guys, that's going way back.
That's a deep cut.
That's going way back. But basically, this is so far back that the Imperium didn't mind having like half alien, half human mutants in their ranks.
Yep.
That's how far back we're going.
So, the Batshit, not a huge amount of Batshits for this one, weirdly enough. Shrike's Pants.
Yep, yeah.
Abbey of the Dons. Girly Man That I Painted. And all those cultists that aren't out yet.
Yeah. But wait, there are rumblings.
There are many rumblings. So, actual answers. Abaddon.
Yeah, well.
The Repenter Superior.
Yeah, actually, some of the sisters might take this. They might be the surprise winners of this, like as they were earlier.
Arnelia Novena. Mephiston.
Mephiston, I think, is a fabulous miniature, I've got to say. Primaris Mephiston
really
is, based on that artwork as well. I mean, that was a genius stroke.
Absolutely
Genius stroke.
Blackstone Fortress Navy Commander Guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed out Emo Shrike.
Oh, God.
As a Batshit.
Primaris
Primaris Captain as well. The Vanguard Librarian. Vanguard Librarian. The Primaris Eliminators, only bedazzled in the resplendent, glorious blue of the Ultramarines.
No.
And the Soriatus Flying Pulpit.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It is.
That is an incredible miniature. But I think Abaddon might take this one.
Abaddon takes it massively.
Yeah, what a surprise. I mean,
about 15% more votes than the Repenter Superior.
I mean, he is. There's nothing not to like. There's just no complaints about Abaddon. I think he's a stunning miniature. It just captures the essence of what he's supposed to be.
Absolutely. Mephiston also came in at number 2 with pretty much the same amount of votes.
Beautiful miniature. Beautiful miniature.
Yeah, that thing has been great. And Abaddon is just amazing.
I love the variants you can do of him. With cape, without cape, you can change the face, which I think is amazing. I love that. Personally, I really like the one where he's got his rebreather mask on.
Yeah,
I think he looks
me
so
too.
Sort of threatening and demonic with that on. It just enhances the miniature to a certain degree, and he's exactly what he's supposed to be, much bigger, than he was before. Beautiful miniature. They've done just a cracking job with it.
Yeah, it's the fact that there's so much going on with it as well. I mean, I love standing on the Primaris Lieutenant. It's just the best joke in the world.
Yeah. It's and it's one of those miniatures. It is canonized, not just within the fiction, but within like the heads of fans. It's one of those miniatures. It had to be the best of the best of the best.
Yeah,
and it is.
Yeah, completely. So moving on to the Hobgoblin Wolf Rider Award for Mini of the Year Fantasy.
Oh, now that's interesting. I mean, for me, it would definitely be the Keeper of Secrets, but I don't think that's going to win.
Okay, well, I don't know if this is a Batshit or not, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Catacross, but not exactly. His base contains the best model, the Bone Reaper Samurai Bodyguard. Off to the side the fucking tits.
I would go for that. Yeah, I mean, if that's one of the Batshit ones, I would take it as a serious one. It's like, yeah, they're brilliant. All of the characters on Catacross's base are great as miniatures in and of themselves. Then you put them all together and put them on a base with another miniature that's awesome.
Completely.
It's almost a done deal, this one. I don't even know why we're going through it.
Because there's more Batshits to go.
All right.
A low-quality 3D scan of a Chaos Dwarf.
Yeah.
Squigs! Actually, no, that is a proper one, isn't
That's a
it?
proper one too.
Yeah. I think that's actually all of the Batshits.
Okay.
So, we'll go down the list. Gotrek,
Yeah, I can see Gotrek doing well. He's still not
Chaos
going to win.
Lord on Karkadrak,
It's a great miniature. It's
Mhm.
it's a really great miniature, but it's not going to win.
Catacross,
Well, yeah.
Keeper of Secrets,
Keeper of Secrets is gorgeous. I love it to bits. For me, for my aesthetic, my favourite, but it's not going to win.
the leader of the Corvus Cabal.
Yeah, gorgeous. Really, really pretty. In fact, all of those cultist miniatures.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. The Abhorrent Archregent,
Yeah. Very nice.
Squigs,
Squigs, yeah. Squigs
Gold
are
White.
always good.
and that's it. Also a Blood Bowl Saurus.
Oh, right, okay. That's kind of fun. That's an interesting outlier.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
yes,
out of
can
them-
can we now get on to the point where you say that Catacross has won?
Well, you see, at number 3, right, comes the Chaos Lord on Karkadrak.
That's quite surprising because that was quite recent.
It was.
That's
It
cool.
was. It burnt through the ratings
Yeah.
over Christmas.
That's quite cool. I'm quite pleased about that.
So who do you think number 2 is?
Possibly Gotrek.
Keeper of Secrets.
Oh, is it? No, that's
Yeah.
nice. I'm glad. I'm
God.
pleased about that. It is beautiful. For me, I mean, now all of the greater demons are nigh perfect.
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
exactly what they're supposed to be. But the Keeper and the Lord of Change are my favourites.
So what does that make number 1?
Catacross.
You are correct. It is Catacross. Gotrek came in at number 4, literally one step behind the Chaos Lord.
Right. Okay. I mean, this was a done deal. I mean, Catacross is just one of the best miniatures they've ever released.
Yeah.
On an
it's-
aesthetic level alone, even if you don't collect AOS, if you don't collect Ossiarch Bone Reapers, you have no interest in the undead, that miniature is just standout, stunning brilliance.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. And the fact is, it doesn't need to be a game piece either. You
No.
could get that and have it as its own little
Like a-
scenario. You know,
yeah.
the storytelling that's in that miniature
Yeah.
is incredible.
It's a diorama, isn't it? It's a
Yeah,
diorama.
completely.
And it's so clever. It's so brilliant. The influences that it draws on, like the historical influences, you can see in him, in the imagery, the iconography that's around him, but also in his stance. You can see things like a little bit of Julius Caesar. You know, you can see a little bit of warlords from across time and history. People like Alexander the Great. People like, obviously, Vlad Tepes. You know.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all in his background, and it's all in the miniature as well. It's very clever.
It is. It's a thing of beauty, and I don't have one yet, and I do want one, but I don't want to play it. I just want to have it and
Just to
paint it up
paint,
and just
yeah.
spend the time over a couple of weeks just taking the time to paint it up.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Absolutely. So moving on then, the Nagash Clown Prince of the Undead Award for Mini of the Year overall.
Overall, wow.
Overall.
That I think that's going to come down to Abaddon and Catacross, isn't it? That's going to be the big fight.
Would you like to hear the Batshits?
Yep, let's go.
There isn't that many in this one.
No.
That I painted? A girly man.
Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah.
Shadow Hulk, which I'm not entirely sure if that's a Batshit or not. The Dark Elder Dude Drazar.
Dratzar.
Drazar, thank you. I
Oh,
can't pronounce
Dratzar.
that.
Oh, God.
Because those models are older than death.
That's true, yeah. Actually, I forgot about the Dratzar release. But it is very good.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a lovely mini.
I just quite liked the fact that there was a full sentence rather than just a nomination.
No Jane
So-
Czar either.
No.
There was no Jane Czar in the 40k models. That's a surprise, because that's a lovely mini too.
But here's the full announcements. So we've got Abaddon.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Abaddon, the Chaos Lord and Karkadrak.
Yeah.
Keeper of Secrets.
Yay!
Mephiston.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Repenter.
Yeah.
Catacross.
Catacross, yeah.
Gotrek maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Bowl Saurus.
Again, someone likes that mini, don't they?
I think I know who it is. Hi, Christopher. So out of them, what do you think takes it?
Catacross. I mean, it's almost done deal. I think it's going to be Catacross.
At number 3, Just really getting the tension going here.
Yeah.
At number 3, Keeper of Secrets.
Wow. I mean, that, again, I'm very pleased with that standing. I'm really pleased because it's just stunning. It's beautiful.
At number 2,
Abaddon.
At number 1, Catacross. Catacross takes the... I just realised somebody wrote Catacross the Defeated.
Which is more accurate.
It is, because he keeps getting defeated.
He's been defeated a lot.
Yep.
He's been defeated a lot.
Oh, that's made me laugh. That chuckle.
I like that. But what can you say? I mean, it's head and shoulders above the next best miniature. You know, it's just a brilliant piece of work, and Games Workshop should be lauded for it.
Absolutely. The fact that it managed to beat out Abaddon is something that I think you really need to look at and go, hang on, because it's not like it just pipped it to the post either. You know, there's a fair amount of difference between the two.
That's impressive as well, given that Catacross is a new character. So there's not this like historical background. There's not the established audience for Catacross that Abaddon has. So that tells you everything you need to know about the status of this miniature.
Absolutely. I think it's really impressive that something that's brand new has managed to do this well this year. Yeah, because you always expect something like a remake of something that already exists
clearly.
to be the thing.
I mean, to be fair, if a Primarch was released this year, then that might have offered some challenge, But without that, Catacross is just the done deal.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love him, as we discussed in the last category. So next one, Araman's Funky Book Club for Best Book.
Brilliant.
So Batshits, we've got, haven't had much time to read sadly, but I would say King Rat. Yeah, all right. Kings of War Volume 3. Who reads books? I might get you to read this one. Lords of Silence. Just kidding. It was Knights of Macragge with he, Cato Sicarius, leading his merry band of Ultramarines as only he, Cato Sicarius, can. With Cato Sicarius in command, you can trust that Cato Sicarius will win the day and see that he, Cato Sicarius, lives up to the mantle of the High Caesarian in a fashion that only one, such as Cato Sicarius, can.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I just want to stop for a second to say, I love you guys.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Also, Lord of the Rings, that's new, right? You guys who put in the Batshits are my favourite people. I just want you to know that.
Very good.
Everybody who voted each year, you've all been brilliant. But the guys who just throw in these random little bits of Batshit, I love you to pieces. You bring me such joy. Cato Sicarius.
Right.
It's so good.
It is good. It is good. Well done. Well done.
I've lost it. Okay.
Right then.
Oh, right.
After Adam's recovered from his, his bout of the giggling pox there.
That actually got me worse the second time I read it out loud rather than the first. Right, so actual...
yes, actual... I've got a funny feeling I know what this one might be too.
Okay, The Great Work. Anarch, the Sabbath Worlds Crusade, 2nd edition.
Ooh, actually, now that was very popular.
That was The Master of Mankind. Double Eagle. Ghoul Slayer.
Yeah, I think that might.
Siege of Terror, Book 2, Lost in the Damned.
It's a tricky...
See, there's ones in here that I'm surprised aren't actually in here.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of the Solar Wars books made it.
Well, I mean, Siege of Terror, Book 2, so yeah. But yeah, it is. It's a weird one. There seems to be some big bits missing here.
Yeah.
But it's all community responses and everything.
Of course, so
this is what people say. So out of them, what do you think?
Ghoul Slayer. Anything
Okay.
involving Gotrek is going to do it. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going to be. It is just going to do it. For me personally, I think the Siege of Terror book would be my favourite of those, but that's simply because of my particular proclivities. You know.
Hmm. Well, it might surprise you then to know that Siege of Terror came in at number 3.
That's good to know. That is good to know.
Okay. Actually, no, it didn't. Sorry, it came in at number 4. I tell a lie. I do apologise.
Yeah, I thought
Number
that might
3,
be the case.
Anarch the Sabbath World's Crusade.
Yeah, actually, I thought that would be number 2 because that was really popular.
It was massively popular, and I'm a little bit surprised here because Ghoul Slayer comes in at number 2.
Okie dokes. Now that is a surprise.
It's really weird because The Great Work comes in at number 1.
Okay. But yeah, colour me surprised.
Yeah, a bit of a shock.
Which
It's
is
an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah, not an unpleasant one either. I'm quite pleased about that.
No, it's a really good book, and you get such a mindset into. Oh my God, my brain is not giving me names at all today, is it?
You're just having one of them, aren't you, Adam?
I really am. This is ridiculous. Bellaris, Call. Yeah, there we go.
Belisarius Call, yeah.
That's the one. My God, Adam. That's it. I'm quitting the podcast. I'm done. I'm leaving. Bye. Yeah, it's a really good look into Cole's mindset and his personality.
I'm rather pleased by that.
Surprised. It's a strange one.
But pleased. I mean, I would have just gone. Anything with Gotrek is immediately going to take it.
Yeah. It's. I think it was more to do with. I think Ghoul Slayer. It wasn't a super strong book.
Right.
You know, it was a really good book, but compared to both the audio dramas that came out at the same time, the second audio drama,
just not up to it, yeah.
It just felt a little bit lacking.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
Not to say it was bad. It wasn't bad at all. But you put it against some of the other Slayer books and some of the other bits and bobs, it kind of it doesn't quite.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'm very pleased though. Anything that sort of elevates Belisarius's status is good because he's a great character and I'd love to see more of him.
Brilliant, yeah. He's. I would love to see just that great workbook being turned into a series and just getting more and more of that. Because you could pick a different personality for each one. You know?
Yeah, you could actually. I mean, you know what would be really cool is if they did like a great work for each of the characters that has that kind of utopian ideal. So you could have a great workbook for Belisarius Call, one for Eldrad. Now he's part of the Inari. One for Ahriman, one for Fabius Bile. That would be really cool. Because there actually are quite a lot of characters that have these kind of utopian visions in 40k. I mean, the whole Tau race, for one.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
The whole Tau Empire.
So moving on then, we've got the Inquisitor Sherlock Obi-Wan Clouseau Award for Best Audio Production.
There's another one of those really old callbacks.
You know me. I have a tendency of firing these things in wherever I can.
Obi-Wan Clouseau, I mean, bloody hell. Jesus Christ almighty. Throne of Terror. You wouldn't... can you imagine them trying to get away with that now? Can you imagine Obi-Wan Clouseau?
It would just be ridiculous.
Oh my God.
So, the Batshits. Realms Layer.
All right.
I'm sure that's on purpose.
I like that.
Just to get these two out of the way, The Last Church by you, and anything by the Fluffenhammer. Frozen, Let It Go.
All right.
And I Have No Ears, I Have No Idea.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, it's brilliant. So, actual nominations. They got Trek's second audio drama. So,
that's probably...
Realm Slayer 2, Blood of the Old World.
Yeah.
Master of Mankind.
Yeah. So that's an ADB book, isn't it?
Our Martyred Lady.
Yeah.
The Buried Dagger.
I loved that. I've got to say that, I mean, it's not going to win. It's not really the book it's not the audio drama that's elevated enough, but it's a fantastic story, that one.
And I don't know what this one is. Oculus Imperia as the Historitor.
No, I don't think I've come across that one.
But that got a couple of votes, so I'm not entirely sure
Hmm.
what that is. I'll have to look
Interesting.
into it.
But yeah,
So
have you actually like listened to or read The Buried Dagger, Adam?
I haven't, no.
Go for it. You'd like that one.
It's actually on my list. I have got it. I've got a copy of it from Thingy,
Not
Black
nice.
Library, but I haven't had the time to get to it
Very
yet.
good. Very unpleasant. Well, obviously it deals with like the latter days of the Death Guard, so it's
Yeah.
it's unpleasant.
I look forward to it. I like pleasantries. So out of them, what do you think?
Oh, it's gonna be the Gotrek one, isn't it? It's gonna be.
I'm not even going to mess around with
I
this
was gonna
one.
say, what's the point?
So I want to go through the names it's been given. So
Yeah.
Gotrek the Second.
Yeah.
Gotrek makes AOS his bitch.
Yeah.
Audio Drama 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Realmslayer Blood of the Old World. And Realmslayer 2 The Reckoning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it is.
Of course it is.
It's actually bizarre how far it got, because Master of Mankind came in at number 2.
Yeah, that's good, and I'm quite pleased about that because that's a very good story, you know.
Yeah, very much so. Just to deflate my ego, I took Last Church out, which actually came in at number 3.
Great. That's quite sweet.
It is. Thank you so much for that one. It made my ego swell for a little while.
Brilliant stuff.
But I thought that was unfair because it's not an official one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gotrek. Have you listened to Realmslayer 2 yet?
I haven't yet. I will though.
It is so unbelievably good.
I hear from many sources, and all I get is raving enthusiasm.
The
That's
ending,
all I get.
in the same way that Realmslayer itself brought a little emotional response to me as I started screaming, "No, you leave Snorri alone!" This one brought a real emotional response to me as the ending takes place, and oh my god, it was like somebody who drove a stake through my heart. It was wowzer, absolutely wowzer. So moving on then, the Dancing Heimlich Kemmler. I've done it again.
Heinrich Kemmler.
Thank you. The Dancing Heimlich Kemmler Award for Best Nostalgic Fan Service.
Nostalgic fan service. Oh, there was a lot of that this year.
There's been a lot this year.
Oh, the Adeptus Sororitas. Let's just generally, surely.
Yep.
Surely.
So, let's go through the Batshits.
Yep.
Oh, yes. The Amusing Fate of Bretonia. Suck it, Lewin Liqueur.
Which is funny, I've got to say.
Oh, yeah. Yours. Old Hammer in general.
Yeah, in general.
Nurgling, which is actually, I'm not going to say that's about shit because that's about right.
It's about correct, yeah.
If you follow Nurgling on Facebook and YouTube, the man does some really good stuff.
Right.
Avengers Endgame.
yeah, definitely.
That's fair enough.
A movie comprised entirely of fan service and nothing else.
Yeah, and Necromunda 2, The Splattering.
All right.
So actual ones, Sisters of Battle.
Of course. I mean that's an entire range that is that.
Mm-hmm.
It is nothing else. So I don't see how it could possibly lose.
Gotrek Gurnison surviving the end times and still wanted to give Teclis a slap.
Yeah, that's actually one too. Yeah.
The Red Gobbo.
Of course, the Red Gobbo.
Noise Marine.
Oh,
that wasn't this year though, was it?
Was that last year?
No, it wasn't. It came out last year for Boxing Day.
I was going to say, so that doesn't really count, does it, the Noise Marine?
I would say it does because they didn't get it out in time on Boxing Day, so it didn't actually come out until about January.
So the Noise Marine, that would get my vote then.
Yeah. Warcry Chaos Dwarfs.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, of course, the new Necromunda.
I think the Sisters of Battle might take this one.
And you'd be absolutely correct.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's an entire range, isn't it? That is all about looking back. It's all about looking back at a range that everyone has loved and has been crying to come back for years, decades, literally for decades. So, yeah.
But here's a weird one for you. What came in at number 2? Literally 5 votes behind the Sisters of Battle.
Gotrek?
No. Gotrek came in at number 3.
Okay.
The Red Gobbo.
The Red Gobbo. Well, yeah.
How brilliant is that?
That is cool. I mean, that means there must be a lot of slightly older fans,
Yeah.
voting for this, because the Red Gobbo's quite niche, really. He was very short-lived,
Yeah, he was in Gorka Morka.
Yeah, he was a very niche character in a niche game. So
Yeah.
If they'd said the Black Gobbo, I'd have understood. But
Yeah,
very
it's a really
interesting.
strange one. It's one of the reasons I actually really enjoy doing this, other than the batshit answers and just talking through the stuff with you. I like seeing how people respond. I like looking at the analytics of it.
Yeah. So what's snared? What has caught the popular imagination?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, that has.
Yeah.
So
Who would have thought?
The sort of very left-wing snotling from Gorka Morka.
Yeah, the communist
Yeah,
snotling.
right.
So next up we have the Grom the Paunch. Bloody hell, Adam, come on! The Grom the Paunch Childlike Excitement Award.
Ooh, there was a lot of that this year too.
There was.
There was a lot of that. It would be for me the Hedonites. It would be the Hedonites. It'd be Slanesh in general, but that's just a personal one.
So the Batshits.
Mm-hmm.
I've already had enough childlike disappointment that I no longer allow myself to feel childlike excitement.
Fair enough. Going down the whole sort of nihilistic route, I get that. I appreciate that. I respect that.
Stuart Murray.
All right. Fair enough.
Apparently Stu causes childlike excitement in people with his
All
blood
right.
angels. Right? Fair enough. Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And at last, the same strategy that I've always liked, dwarfs in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, dug in with a shooter and cannons.
Okay.
And Necromunda 2, the
Yeah.
splattering.
Yeah. All right.
So, actual ones. Sisters.
Yeah. Well, they might take this again, I think.
The Solar War starting.
Yeah. I mean, for those who are into the fiction more than anything, I can definitely see that.
Noise Marine.
Yay!
Anyone who loved old fantasy, stroke the old world.
Yeah. Actually, that might be the surprise. That might take it.
Warcry.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have said it's nice to see a new version of Mordheim. Yeah. So, Blood Bowl Lizard Men. Gotrek.
Yep.
And my personal favourite, Sump Croc, all in capitals.
I think the sisters might take this one as well.
You don't think it might be the Sump Croc?
I'd love it to be, but I don't think it is.
I see. I think that the no matter what the actual answer is, the Sump Croc is the winner.
Yeah. Okay.
So at number 3 came Old World.
Yeah. Of course, that was going to be up there, wasn't it? That's going to cause a lot of. But then again, there's the ambiguity, I imagine, that's diluting that, because it's the whole. We did a whole episode on it, ladies and gents. Go listen.
We did, but this is an award for making you feel childlike excitement. So
yeah, I can see that.
Gotrek at number 2.
Yes, of course.
The Sisters at number 1.
Oh well, what else could it be?
And the Sisters are really just mopping everything up at the moment.
They would be. It's not just the nostalgia factor; it's the way they've pushed it. Because they've gone nuts with the advertising for these guys. It's going to be a big release. It's a big release, this one. So
well, that's a point I think that needs to be made, that it's not even actually properly out yet.
It's not, and it's already become this big seller,
Yeah, massively, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Next up is the Tusker Demon Killer Award for most batshit announcement.
Okay.
Do you know who Tusker Demon Killer is?
Tusker Demon Killer, no.
He is the orc that fought his way into the middle of the Iron Terror, got himself onto the plane of existence that Khorne lives on.
Oh, it's him.
Yep, and he continuously fights every day, then dies at the end of the day, and then is brought back to life in order to fight.
He's the one that Khorne really likes.
Khorne loves him.
Yeah, so Khorne resurrects him at the end of each day to fight again. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Khorne actually really liking the orcs quite a lot.
Well, yeah, because they like to fight.
They like to fight. There's nothing else to them, is there, really? But yeah, well, this has got to be the old world.
Well, let's
Surely.
let's get some batshits. So we've got the. Oh, there's actually only a few. So no new Skaven releases. AOS.
All right, fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay. Square bases.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't a full-blown batshit, but I love it to bits.
Uh-huh.
So, the arrival of the Prime Mortis, the Otterak Bone Reapers. If you thought death was bad, wait until you get a load of Death Plus. They're twice as dead, twice as undead. You like bones? Well, guess what? These bastards are made from bone magic. That's right. Nagash has purchased a lifetime supply of little blue pills to give you all the bone magic you can handle. Addendum. If your bone reapers last more than 4 hours, please contact your personal necromancer.
Right, yeah. Someone put a lot of work into that.
I think that might have been rolled from the Facebook group, and if it was,
very good.
mwah,
Yeah, well done.
le perfection.
Well done.
So we've got Sisters of Battle,
Yeah.
Duncan Quit,
Oh yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting.
the Spray Stick, the Old World,
The old world, I think, will probably take this one.
Marine Codex,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
and that's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So out of all of those, what do you think?
I think the old world.
Do you know? Do you? Is that what you think?
Mhm.
Is that what you're under the impression of?
Mhm.
Well, let me just draw back the curtain a little bit.
Okay.
Until just before Christmas, the Old World was winning.
Okay.
It's been knocked to number 2.
Has it? Oh, that is interesting. I wonder what by.
Because number 1 is Duncan Quitting,
Yeah.
which is
Interesting.
yeah, a bit of a real shame. We haven't really discussed that because we haven't recorded since it happened.
No, of course. I mean,
And yeah, I don't really want to get too much into it because obviously the guy has made some decisions in his personal life to move on and do new things, and that's more power to him.
absolutely. Yeah, he's going to be missed.
Massively.
He's
so,
going to be
yeah,
missed because it was great fun. It was great fun. You just see like a personality, from Games Workshop outside of the fiction was very unusual.
Yes. Yeah. It's always been weird because I mean GW used to do it back in the day with Andy Chambers, Jervis Johnson.
Yeah, but it was much
guys.
drier, wasn't it? It was much more sort of. It was largely pushed in White Dwarf, and that was it, wasn't it? It was more to do with like what they represented within the hobby than anything. Whereas with Duncan, it's kind of more personality, I think.
Yes, completely and utterly.
But yeah, it's an interesting one.
So next up we've got the Morcar Award for the best YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't actually watch that many anymore, to be honest. No. I watch Kirioth. I quite like Kirioth.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch the Bard just when he's being funny,
Yeah. Well, don't worry, the Bard's in here.
Yeah, I imagine he would be.
I don't think he's actually put anything up for the last year.
But, no. It's just a matter of going back, isn't it? It's retrospective. And I used to like when Spooner used to do his D&D videos as well.
Oh yeah, they were good.
If we were doing the Fluffenhammer then, I imagine he would have featured a bit. We would have actually like talked about the stuff that he talks about. But sadly, that's not to be anymore.
No, he's kind of.
That said, ladies and
off.
Gents, I mean, if you're into D&D and role playing, go and watch his Counter Monkey series.
Yes. Recommended.
It's absolutely
highly
brilliant.
recommended.
It is absolutely stunning, He's a very good storyteller.
He is.
He's a very good storyteller. I wish he still did it.
He was always really good when he didn't play a character.
Yeah. When it was himself, yeah. It was good, wasn't it? It was good. It was interesting. Oh, well.
So, there isn't any real batshits in here. There's one that just says Onion Son.
All right.
I don't know if that's a channel or not. I just quite like saying Onion Son.
I think it's Onision they're talking about.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, don't even bother, ladies and gents. Just don't.
Okay.
That's a flat out don't. Because
So
it
we've.
will actually harm. It will make you misanthropic if you go
Oh
and watch
no,
Onision.
okay.
Do not.
So we've got the Bard,
Yay, we love the Bard.
Luke Astartes.
Not familiar, but I will probably.
I'm assuming that that's actually the Astartes shorts that got put up.
Oh right.
Oh,
In that
that would
instance,
make sense.
yeah, that would make
ties
a lot
into
of
those
sense.
ones. Chapter Master Valrak, he
Mhm.
just gets so excited.
Yeah.
Oculus Imperia,
Yep.
Vanguard Tactics,
Mhm.
Too Old for YouTube. There's a batshit. Black Magic Craft,
Mhm.
2 Plus Tough, Neebs Gaming,
Neebs, yeah, of course.
Kirioth.
Kirioth, I really like. He's probably the most balanced of anyone.
I'd
You know?
agree there. Tabletop Tactics,
Yeah, tabletop, yeah.
and Bitsbox.
Yeah, so some of the bigger ones are in there actually.
Yeah. So out of them, and I'm gonna be honest here, the Bard isn't in the top 3.
Nah, I mean, well, he hasn't been posting, has he? So
No.
it's that kind of makes sense. I don't know for this one because I'm not as au fait with like the hierarchy of the YouTube channels.
All right. So I'll do it in 3. So Oculus Imperia at number 3. Kirioth came in at number 2.
Yeah, I can definitely see it because he is. Not only is he consistent, he's always on the ball. Like whenever a new subject comes up, he discusses it and discusses it in depth as well.
Yes.
He like looks at it from every different potential angle, which I rather like. I've got to say.
Yeah, I am a fan of the guy. Now, what's interesting is what number 1 is. So number 1 is the Astartes show.
Yeah, which
right?
makes a lot of sense.
It does, but a lot of it has got Kirioth's name in it as well.
Oh.
I'm going to get into why I think that's the case. So when YouTube messed up badly and the Astartes show got taken down, Kirioth was there pushing a lot of people towards getting YouTube to change their minds.
Right, well done, Kirioth.
So I think it's probably worth saying that it's a tie
joint. Yeah,
between
absolutely.
the 2. Because if you take all of the ones that are the Astartes show with thanks to Kirioth and all those mentions of him within the Astartes votes, Kirioth actually wins it.
Good stuff. I mean, yeah.
So I think it's probably fair to say it's a joint number 1 between the Astartes series and Kirioth because the man did a lot of good work.
That's great.
To get people to pay attention to what's happening there.
And given the general state of YouTube, you kind of need people to do that these days because a channel can just disappear like that for nothing,
It can. It really can. I will actually say that I was a little sad because at number 4 is If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. Because that show's amazing and it deserved to be higher.
It's a great name, if nothing else.
Oh, it's just a beautiful show. Have you watched the one they did on The Lost Church?
I haven't, no.
Just go watch it.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Just go watch it and see if you take away something that I took away from it.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to get into on here because it makes me sound a little egotistical.
Okay.
But there's something in there that I'm not entirely sure, but it seemed to be there.
Okay, I'll go and have a look at that. But
yeah,
so I mean, really well done to Kirioth for that.
Yes.
I mean, it is something you need these days. You need like a community or someone like him to be able to speak up for you in case they do come crashing down on your channel for no reason. So very, very well done.
I think Kirioth does a lot of good work, and he deserves it. I'm going to try and get hold of the guy and just let him know.
Yeah.
So if anybody's listening to this and they've got like a direct line to the guy, just let him know, please.
Yeah, just big thumbs up from the Fluffenhammer,
yeah? So I might make a little trophy if anybody can get hold of him.
All right.
So best podcast.
Best podcast.
Sorry, my apologies. I said that wrong. The Old World Fishman Award for best podcast.
For the best podcast. Interesting. I'm going to have to listen to the nominees for this one.
Okay, so Batshits, the Fluffenhammer.
Yeah, of course.
Fluffenhammer. The Fluffenhammer, but there's never enough. Quit your job, stay in the basement and ramble on and 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 on.
Oh, believe me, if I could get paid for doing this, paid a living wage to sit and ramble on the computer,
Yep.
I would do it definitely.
The Fluffenhammer.
Yay!
Fluffenhammer, it's the only Games Workshop one I listen to, so
Oh.
auto win.
Hey!
The Fluffenhammer, don't let it go to your heads.
All right, fair enough.
I am purposefully taking all of our things here because I don't really want to award ourselves.
No.
Because that would just feel weird. So outside of that, Grimdark podcast. Oh, sorry, there's three other Batshits actually.
Okay.
Joe Rogan.
All right. Fair enough.
The Juggernaut Bolt Action podcast, which to be fair is actually quite good.
Mm-hmm.
What's a podcast? And Last Podcast on the Left, which to be honest I do recommend. And also Heel and Hammer, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've got is the Grimdark podcast, Rusty Gamers, Warhammer Weekly,
Yeah.
Facehammer, and Heel and Hammer as well. I didn't put that in the badge. So
I'm not sure.
Also,
with this one.
sorry, I seem to have lost it from my list. But also Wib and Snipe.
Oh, Wib and Snipe. Yeah, I'd actually quite like Wib and Snipe to win this one because I like them. I find them hilarious.
So, removing ourselves from it.
Yeah.
At number 2 is Facehammer.
Okay.
At number 1 is Wib and Snipe.
Yay! Most pleased.
Yeah, so I had to kind of take time to work that one out because I'd managed to put them all in the wrong order. I don't know how I managed to do that. I'll put my hands up and say I messed that one up. I managed to put Whip and Snipe somewhere in the middle of the thing with the percentages. So it's like,
okay.
Whoops, kind of messed that one up. I want to know who the hell was listening to Joe Rogan when they wrote that out.
Right. Oh, jeez. Could have been worse. I mean, I suppose it could have been worse.
Indeed. Right, so the next one is the Shock Attack Gun for Best Site Award.
Oh, the best website.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. I tend to avoid a lot of them now, though. I mean, I tend to go to the rumor sites if I can, but it's difficult. There's a lot of moaning.
True enough.
Unlike the forums, there's a lot of moaning.
So Batshits. Anyone who says anything other than Pornhub is lying. So definitely Forge World, because it's the same situation. A hardcore. Wait, can I cuss? It seems rather vulgar. Look, I won't say it, but just hold your hands up, make one hand a circle, and extend only to the index finger of the other. Got it? Good. Now vigorously place the index finger through the circle of your other hand, and boom, Forge World's effect on your wallet.
All right.
We've also got manticgames.com.
Yeah.
Which actually got quite a few votes, so I'm not entirely sure if that's a batshit or not. Pornhub. Why do people put Pornhub?
Fair enough. Starnesh. Yeah.
True, yeah. Fluffenhammer got a fair few.
Hey.
Bell of that's the proper one. YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. I mean, technically.
And anyone that isn't Spiky Bits.
Poor Spiky Bits.
Once again, I'm taking us out because it would just be weird to give ourselves an award. I know that you people are a little biased, but thank you for all the same. Kiru.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tabletop Tactics.
Yeah, I do visit Tabletop every now and then.
Frontline Gaming.
Yeah, Frontline. Yeah, definitely, I like Frontline.
The Warhammer community site.
Actually.
Which has never appeared before.
But it is really good.
It is. It's fantastic.
I mean, the Warhammer community site and all of its offshoots are fantastic.
Bell of Lost Souls. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
1D4chan.
Yeah, I suppose.
Bell of Lost Souls. St. Andrew's Wargaming.
I don't think I've been to that one.
No, I haven't been to that one either.
One.
No. So out of all of those, if I gave you a hint to say the person who won it last year wins it again this year, does that help?
I cannot remember, if I'm honest.
Okay, so
My
table
memory doesn't stretch back that long. I'm in my mid-30s. It's starting to fail now.
So whether or not it's a Batshit or not, at number 3 comes in at Mantic Games.
Yeah, I can get that.
Number 2 came in at Tabletop Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1D4 Chan.
Of course. I mean, I'm kind of sad the Warhammer community site wasn't up there.
It was at number 4.
Because I really like it. I mean, that's kind of a daily visit for me.
Yeah, completely. I think it's more to do with people looking at this being a community site.
Of course, rather than an official one. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Because Warhammer community got a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just because it's an official website, it kind of dropped down in people.
Yeah, I get that.
So, and you can't really do a best official site because then there's only one
There's
real
only
nomination.
one. There's only one there, so yeah.
It doesn't really work that way.
But as websites go, I mean, we've said it before, but you know the one they need to update? It's the Black Library one.
Absolutely.
God almighty, that checkout system is appalling.
Yeah, it is painful. Absolutely painful.
Why PayPal it, guys? Why isn't there a PayPal option? You've got it on your normal website for buying the miniatures and whatnot. Why don't you have it on the Black Library?
Yeah.
Minor complaint, but
considering the fact that Black Library sells ebooks,
right.
You would have thought that would have had it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it makes us sound like lazy gits, but you know, I don't want to have to sit with my debit card typing out the numbers.
No, but not only that, it's easier to follow up on things if it's through PayPal, when it goes you're buying things online.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to go through all the rigmarole of contacting your bank to get stuff.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Through PayPal, and yeah, if I'm not using PayPal, I get a little bit antsy about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but it makes me more reluctant to buy through the Black Library. You know what I mean? Because you can actually get the Black Library stuff through other websites that do have PayPal and whatnot, which is much easier. So they need to get on that.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised they haven't. I don't quite understand why, you know?
No, me neither. It must just be one of those things where, for some reason, they haven't been able to get it installed.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange.
I'm not entirely sure. It's very odd.
Anywho.
So anyhow, the next up is the Slambo Award for Best Official Video.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, the official videos have been good.
That's why I did it this year, because they have been absolutely top notch.
They have been good. That's a tricky one. I mean, you've got all these Psychic Awakening videos, which have always been quite exciting, because they tend to subtly hint at things, you know, which are going to be released, which is really nice. They did an Adeptus Sororitas video that was very good.
They did, yes.
It's hard to say, this one. Not sure.
Well, I'll go through the batches first.
Mm-hmm.
Great War by Sabaton.
All right.
That's the only batshit for this one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The rest of them have been official. So, proper announcements. Bloody hell. Nominations. I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. My brain appears to have left the building. The Slanesh announcement.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, yes, that was very good.
The Sisters of Battle launch video.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan as Conan.
Yeah.
The 50 Shades contrast video.
Uh-huh.
Black Fortress release video. The Blood of Baal. So good.
Yeah.
Voxcast episode 24 with Duncan Rhodes.
Yeah.
And the Duncan and Peachy Halloween video.
Yeah. Actually, all of those are pretty good. I'm just going to have to go for my personal one. The Slanesh one.
Okay.
Was my favourite.
All right. Well, in that case, at number 3, Voxcast episode 24, Duncan Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
At number 2, the Duncan and Peachy Halloween special.
There's lots of Duncan featuring here.
There really is. And at number 1, the contrast painting ones. And I have to just quickly say, good grief, I haven't seen comedy like that level since Richard Pryor passed. Yeah, the 50 Shades of Contrast video massively took it.
Yeah.
Like, massively. It dominated this one.
I can sort of see that, yeah. I can understand why.
You know, it is absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It's genius.
They've
In fact,
done well with their videos. They have.
oh yeah. In everything that they've done, that having that sort of internal studio almost now,
Yep.
it's allowed them to do so much, and everything that they've done has been superb.
Yeah, spot
I mean
on.
that announcement video they did for having the studio, where they just got a Space Marine in the background just shooting away. It's,
Yeah, what the,
you know,
what the
brilliant.
hell, yeah? Just so brilliant.
So moving on then, the Techless Misstep of the Year award.
Yeah, that'd be a big one, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
The missteps. Yeah, it's a difficult one. This I'm not. I mean, for me, there's a personal. It's a minor misstep. It's a minor misstep, but it may not be a misstep. That's the thing. It's the fact that all of the armies that have been updated in Psychic Awakening have had the ability. They've been given basically like the chapter trait system from the Space Marine book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from Chaos Space Marines. And I'm not sure
Yeah.
why. I don't know whether that's an oversight or whether it's just that there is a big Chaos Marine release somewhere down the line, like a second, like a new codex.
I think that's probably quite a good point to make.
I'm not sure.
It's hard to say these things because we don't know what's coming next.
That's it. I don't know whether it's a misstep or not. That's the thing.
Yeah. So the Batshits.
Mhm.
Eating beans and curry in the same day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Trying to paint whilst taking pain meds for my back and then having to strip 20 models.
Yep.
No scaping.
Yeah.
Whoever is putting out the scaping jokes, please tell
Thumbs
me
up.
who you are. We
Yeah,
are
thumbs
soul
up.
brothers. Buying too much and not painting them.
That would be my own personal biggest misstep.
Angry grandmother custodes.
All right.
Actual ones. The new inbox game systems. GW letting Duncan quit.
Yeah, I mean that. I wouldn't account that as a misstep though. I mean,
No,
people
no.
move on. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Blood of the Phoenix. The price actually makes sense with the new kits included, but probably should have been separate Aldari Drukari releases.
Oh, okay, interesting.
The Old World.
Yeah, I can see how you could. That could be a misstep.
Mm-hmm.
I can
The
definitely see
Warlord
that.
Grand Tournament. I'm not entirely sure what was
Not
going
sure
on
what
with
that's
that
referring to be honest.
one. Supplement spam.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can definitely see that when you look at, like, say, the new Space Marine Codex, which has got, like, 11 supplements to it. But, that said, each of the supplements is excellent
Yeah.
and gives the armies that they refer to more of a chance to flex their muscles, you know?
Yeah.
I can see the problem with it, because, like, for example, if I want to play, like, a Chaos Space Marine army that's, say, allied with my Thousand Sons, I need the Thousand Sons Codex, I need the Chaos Space Marine Codex, I need the Vigilus 2 book, and I need the Psychic Awakening books.
Yeah.
Which I can, is problematic, having all those books and having to refer to them all. But, on the other hand, I like the breadth and depth that brings.
Yeah, sure, completely. I completely agree. That's why I'm saying this isn't a bad thing, it's just a misstep.
Yeah.
Selling the limited edition Sisters box and the Solar War book on the same day.
That, yes, may have been a misstep.
Releasing Aeronautica at the same time as Gotrek.
Oh, yeah.
And Necromunda pricing.
Yes. The Necromunda pricing might take it, actually.
So, going into it from the number 3 backwards, GW letting Duncan quit, stroke Duncan quitting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, because you don't know the circumstances.
We don't, and I think it would be...
From what I understand, it wasn't anything like negative. It wasn't.
No, he just wanted to move on.
He just wanted to move on, so...
Yeah. I think it would be not the best of ideas for us to comment on it too much, because it's got really nothing to do with us. I know it seems
absolutely.
a weird thing to say, but I just wish the man luck in everything he does involved.
Absolutely, yeah.
At number 2, we've got supplement spam.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. Number 1's going to be the Old World, isn't it?
No, number
No?
one is Necromunda pricing.
Yeah, because that was the only one I've come across where people were actually like quite angry, quite
Well, it's nearly 200 quid,
kind of upset in like as they were back in the days of old GW,
Yeah. I understand why it's nearly 200 quid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stuff you get in that box, it is a lot of stuff. You get a city,
You do,
but you tie that back to like original Necromunda with the cardboard buildings and everything. I don't know. I don't disagree with it.
No, I can see where that one would be regarded as a bit of a negative.
Yeah, completely. I am surprised that the Blood of the Phoenix stuff didn't actually get higher.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So next up is the here we go. The Tyrion's Hat Community Commander Award. So this one is for people that work in do things within the community that you feel deserve to get a mention.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a few in here. Oh, right, okay. So first of all, I'm going to take me and you out of it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So we've been taken out a little bit. Craig McCutcheon has also been, which I think is brilliant. I love Craig. He's a good lad. Stu.
Yep.
Can I nominate Kato Sicarius? Stu's constant output. Well, I'm just reading them out. This isn't just Batshits. I'm just reading out all the ones we've got. 2 Plus Tough.
Yep.
Melbos or Luke. Fluffenhammer. I don't think that's probably been spelled right. Andrew Wright. Nick Beer. Me. As in, that's what it says.
Right, it just says me.
Yeah, it just says me. Wal Krendor for getting new people in.
Mm-hmm.
Kirioth.
Hey.
For the Adeptus channel call out. And Stu again.
Stu, yay.
Yeah. So, I know this is a bit of a weird one, but the idea here is to, as I say, celebrate somebody who's done a load of stuff. And I'm not going to lie, Stu got a lot of votes.
Yeah.
Stu, for his painting and the pictures that he puts out, he got out a lot of votes. And he was only beaten by one person.
Really?
Yeah. So Stu's constant painting output has it's given a lot of people ideas.
That's it, yeah.
A lot of people have spoke here about how seeing the stuff that he's done and him talking about how he's done it have changed how people try to do their painting.
That's brilliant. I mean, for me, that's definitely one of the most inspiring things. When you see people put their stuff up on the website and it's just stunning, they've done some really interesting conversions or paint jobs or whatever. Anyone who contributes in that manner, brilliant. Thank you so much. So
I would just like to really draw attention to the fact that Stu over on the Fluffenhammer Facebook group and on Instagram at Dark Ages, and it's ages like the armor, not like the time. He does lots of really good stuff, and I think it's worth giving him the shout out for it.
Brilliant, absolutely
because the guy
brilliant. Not
only is a really talented painter, the guy is lovely. He's just a lovely human being. So
awesome. Thank you so much, sir. It's massively appreciated.
So the only person who beat him out, and this gives you an idea of just how high regard Stu's been held in, is Kirioth.
Yeah, of course.
And the reason he's got that is for the Adeptus channel call out and the call to arms that he did in order to get people together to push YouTube into reinstating the channel.
Well, that, absolutely. As we said before, that's what you need.
Absolutely.
You need people like that who have got a platform, who've got a bit of an audience, who are capable of giving YouTube a bit of a headache, basically.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they need to be shaken up a little bit.
At the end of the day, they need to get rid of the damn algorithms.
Absolutely.
And have people, employ actual people to do this work.
And that is it. That's the last one.
That's it, right. Yeah. Okay. God, they come round quick, don't they, the Fluffies?
They do. And I'm actually a little bit sad that it's now over and done with. We're nearly at 2 hours here, so it's probably a good idea to call it there.
Yeah, those of you who've stuck with us, thank you so much.
Yes, completely.
Thank you.
So I just quickly have to ask you then, what would be your award that you would give to something. So if you can think of an item that you really, really enjoyed this year.
You know, something springs immediately to mind, and it would be the resurrection of Slaanesh.
Okay.
Because I've been waiting for it for so long, and it's and of course amidst the narrative that Slaanesh was dead and that they were squatting Slaanesh. So it would be the not dead god of the year. The unsquatted god of the year.
Unsquatted. Oh God, that's conjures up some horrible image. Oh no. For myself, I would give it to Warcry. Because Warcry not only ties into that skirmish gaming that I love so much, it also got me and Abby playing a lot of games. She has won more games than lost at this point, which is unfair. A little bit. And I would call it the Broken Drum Award for Almost More Time gaming.
Almost More Time. The Almost More Time Award.
Yeah, but it'd be the Broken Drum. Because
I like that.
I like to get as many references into something as I physically can.
Brilliant.
So, with all that being said then, George, where can people find you if they so wish?
Oh, you can find me over at the Exaggerated Elegy channel, if you can spell it, which most people can't, where I do Let's Plays and lots of different types of podcasts on all sorts of material. With lots and lots of different types of people, mostly from my writer circles.
Yeah.
You can find me at the Twitter page Enigmatic Elegy, which is just general rambling. You can also find my more serious work at strangeplaygrounds.com and on amazon.co.uk. My short story collections, Strange Playgrounds, Essential Atrocities, and Born in Blood Volume 1, Volume 2 coming this year at some point.
Excellent.
So, yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me knocking about these days.
And you can find me over at Twitter at Grufflock and at the Fluffenhammer. You can find the Fluffenhammer at Facebook. Just search for Fluffenhammer. You'll find the page and group. I think that's it at the moment. But it is worth saying at this point that I'm going to be taking a sabbatical for a little while after this episode.
Of course.
Because as of now.
As of very soon, yes, imminently.
I mean, she might be having contractions right now. I don't quite know. My son will be born in the next week.
Right.
So obviously my time is going to be absolutely limited for the next few months.
Of course.
George is going to be trying to get stuff out. We've got a couple of ideas in the fire.
Oh yes, so. There are already some potentials cooking away.
Yes, which I'm looking forward to hearing, because it'll be really weird listening to the Fluffenhammer without you being in it.
Yeah, that would be very strange.
Yeah, it's going to be odd, but I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes. And if you follow me on Facebook, you will be deluged with baby pictures.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie, it's going to happen. Yeah, they will be like me drawing eyebrows onto Joseph and things like that. It's also worth saying, by the way, his name is Joseph Felix Nickel.
There you go.
So guess where that came from. With that being said then, guys, thank you so much to everyone who's taken part in this year's Fluffies. It really does mean the world to me.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys take the time to fill these in, not only the sensible ones where we get to get a gauge of where people are at and where the community is as a whole, which I find brilliant.
That is fascinating, isn't it? That really is.
It is. It really makes me happy to see these things because they're not usually that far away from our own mindsets.
No, we often sort of dovetail, don't we?
Yeah. But then again, every now and again, something pops up that we just wouldn't have ever wouldn't have ever noticed.
Really surprising stuff, which is also fun.
Yeah, no, completely. I love doing the Fluffies every year. It is literally one of my favourite things to do. It's just so much fun. And then the guys who put out the Batshits, thank you so much.
Yeah, always
you
appreciated.
Guys, just honestly, the Kate Sicarius stuff had me howling. It was I've probably cut down the laughing from what it actually was. Because I went on for a little too long. But absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
so much for doing that. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you guys in a few months. You guys take care.
Bye-bye.